Hi, and welcome. In today's lesson, I'll be talking about a special game that I've played with my dogs ever since they were puppies. And as you can tell, this game is the sit, down, and stand game. What I love about this game is that it teaches your dog the very basic behaviors that you use the most throughout your dog's life. You know, whenever you're about to cross a road, you'll probably want your dog to sit. And let's say you want your dog to go lie down, or you want to work on a down stay, then you'll need your dog to be in a down position. And same with the stand. Let's say you're at the vet or you're grooming your dog. It's very helpful to be able to get your dog in that standing position. So the goal with this lesson is to teach your dog each one of these three behaviors and also condition your dog to respond to each one of those verbal commands. So to get started, the first thing that you'll need to do is to teach your dog the behaviors. And we've kind of touched on that on the clicker training lesson. But with this lesson, we'll go a little further and make sure that your dog is conditioned to each one of those commands. So let me demonstrate this first step with my dog. Okay, let's get started on training your dog to sit, down, and stand. This exercise is the same as the one in the clicker training video, but with one minor change. I'd like you to focus the entire training session on one or two behaviors so that it makes it a little easier for your dog to understand what it is that you want. So with my dog Onyx here, I'll be training probably the sit and the stand, and then I'll also show you another training session where I focus entirely on the down. So I think we're ready. Break! Okay, in the first training session, I worked on reinforcing the sit and the stand. But as you can tell, it's missing the down. So now in the second training session, I'll be focusing entirely on the down behavior and completely ignoring those first two behaviors that I reinforced. Break! Break! Girl. Break! Wait. Break! Come on, get in. So now it's your turn. Give it a try with your dog. Okay, once your dog has mastered those behaviors, and your dog continuously offers you those behaviors, because he's learned that it's the quickest way to get that reinforcement, then the second thing that you'll want to do is associate verbal commands to each one of those three behaviors. And the easiest way to do this is by saying your command just before the behavior happens. Let's say this represents time here, and your dog sits, then you'll want to say your command just before that behavior happens. And you'll be able to tell because your dog is going to lean back a little bit just before your dog sits. But a little trick that I've used with my dogs is that I've reinforced them 4 times in a row without saying a command to create a pattern, so that on the 5th repetition, you know your dog is going to repeat that same behavior. So it creates a great opportunity to say your command and then reinforce it. So for this second step, I highly encourage you to spend an entire training session on each one of those behaviors. So you'd be spending 5 minutes on training the sit, 5 minutes on the down, and 5 minutes on the stand. And So this will make it a lot easier for your dog to digest that information. So let me demonstrate this second step with my dog. Okay, to condition a verbal command, you'll want to say your command just before that behavior happens. So with my dog Onyx here, I'll be saying my command sit just before she actually sits down. And I'm also going to click my clicker right when she sits down. So the timing is a little tricky here, but with experience you'll get way better at it. Ready? Break! Sit. Break. Sit. Break. Sit. Break. Get in. Good girl. So now it's your turn. Give it a try with all three behaviors with your dog. Okay, once your dog has been properly conditioned to those three commands, then it's time to play the game. And you might be wondering, what is the game? Well, the game is very simple. All you'll have to do is say your commands randomly. And what I mean by this is instead of spending an entire training session, sit, then your dog sits down and give him a treat, what you'll want to do is mix all of those three behaviors together. So you can do in the beginning, sit, and then go to a down. You say your command sit, your dog sits, then you give him a treat. And then you go to the down, you say your command down, your dog lies down, and then you give him a treat. But what's really great is that you can mix it up really intricately. It can go sit, stand, or stand down, and eventually you can do like 3 or 4 of these. You can go from sit, stand, down, stand. It makes it really difficult for your dog and very challenging also, but what's great is that your dog is really going to master those 3 commands because your dog is going to learn to listen to those commands. So let me demonstrate this third step with my dog. All right, it's time to play the game. Are you excited? Before you can play the game though, you'll want to make sure that your dog responds to your command. You want to make sure that your dog sits immediately after you say that command, sit. Because you don't want to keep repeating your command and not getting that behavior. So, excuse me. Good girl. She's a little excited. So, to get started, I'm going to randomly say my commands and reward my dog for each one of those. Break. Sit. Stand. Down. Break, good girl. What? Come on. Down. Stand. Break. Get in. So you get the idea. So give it a try with your dog. I'm sure you'll have lots of fun. Well, this pretty much concludes this lesson. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or even additions to this lesson, then please leave a comment under this video. Also, make sure that you download your complimentary lesson sheet. You'll find it on the Dog Trick Academy page right underneath this video. There should be a button on it. Click on it, and then you can either print it or save it to your computer. In it, you'll find lots of valuable information that I didn't put in the video lesson because I didn't want to overwhelm you. So again, I want to thank you for listening and for participating in this little game with me, because I think a lot of people would see as training your dog to sit, lie down, and stand as being pretty boring. But when you put in a little game like this, it makes it really fun. So again, thank you for listening. My name is Jean Cote.